Tonight, I would like to start off with a question. How many people who are watching or listening to this have actually fired a weapon before? A.e. like a gun or a crossbow or a bow and arrow or have wielded a sword? How many people have actually handled a deadly weapon before or been taught to use one? As much as we would like to believe that almost everyone in the United States has dealt with a weapon of some sorts, there are still many people who have not dealt with weapons such as guns or bows and arrows that could actually kill somebody. There are many ways that American citizens live that need the equipment where they need equipment to do work. Sometimes, depending on the job, that equipment could be very deadly. With the military, one of the biggest pieces of equipment that they have for every member of the military is a gun. It is required for a military member, once he is put on to base and onto patrol, that he is to have an armed weapon on him at all times unless otherwise in trouble from a past thing before, a past experience before where he has not been able to carry a gun. Being a natural-born citizen of the United States makes it so that anyone can talk about this issue from the First Amendment, saying we have our freedom of speech, because it is our personal right to talk about the issues that we believe are problems to us. However, I believe that unless you have actually fired a gun or been in a situation where a weapon has been an issue, you have no right to try to talk about it and say that there are issues behind guns or that we need gun control. Since I was young, my father there were several occasions that my father would teach me how to shoot a gun. But with every lesson of shooting a gun, there was also a lesson in responsibility. Some of those lessons have still stuck with me today. Wielding a weapon, wielding a gun, is an honor, but not a privilege. It is for self-defense and not for harm. Cy Robertson from the reality show Duck Dynasty once said, "It ain't gun control we need, it's sin control." The United States of America has several rights and freedoms that most countries do not have. It is stated in the Second Amendment, "A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." However, there are people that want to take that right away from its U.S. citizens. They do not realize that guns are not the issue. First off, guns do not kill people. People kill people. Yes, guns can be used as a weapon to kill people, but again I state, guns themselves cannot kill people. They are a piece of equipment used. They are nothing but metal and springs and lead bullets. A gun cannot say, "I don't like this person," and fire a bullet at it. A gun cannot become angry and kill a person because they don't like the way it's been treated. Yes, guns can be used as a weapon, but tonight I would like to bring up 2 points as to why we should keep guns. And I would also like to point out a few studies that have been done on guns in different communities. The first point that I would like to bring up is that guns are a way of life. I am originally from Wasilla, Alaska. In the kind of area that I used to live in, there were many dangers that we would face in our daily lives. A lot of times it was necessary that there was a gun nearby in our homes. Whenever we went camping, my father would always carry a gun. And there have been times that our campsites were raided by bears that we needed that gun. And it was luckily that we had that gun. It is not just Alaska that needs the kind of protection, though. And it's not just from wildlife. In the world we live in today, there are many threats that we face as a society, mostly because there are those who threaten to harm or even kill us. According to the Carter Justice Department, in the year 1979, there were founded attempted 32,000 attempted rapes, which only 32% of them were actually committed. And whenever a woman held a knife or a gun, only 3% of those kinds of rapes were actually successful because the man was able to apprehend her. According to Gun Owners of America, a gun is used in self-defense over 2.5 million times a year. If you look at the rest of the statistics for more information, criminals die more by armed citizens than police officers. With the numbers that are published by the government, they found that armed citizens actually killed 2.5 times more criminals than police do in 1 year. The second point that I would like to bring up is that when our weapons of self-defense are taken away, crime rates go through the roof. There have been many studies on cities that have low gun laws and compared them to cities that have high gun laws. They found that the cities that had low gun laws or actually forced their citizens to own a gun in their home, that the crime rate fell substantially, whereas when gun owners were forced to register their guns, crime rates raised substantially. However, in a city called Kennesaw in Georgia, citizens were required to have the head of the household own at least one gun. Within a year, they found that crime rates had plummeted over 89%. Kennesaw is not the only city where they have found that sort of statistic had happened. There are accounted 15 other cities that have been studied on that had that same result as a statistic. To end, I would just like to leave you with a quote and a question. First, my quote is by Bruce Willis. He said, "If you take guns away from legal gun owners, then the only people who would have guns would be the bad guys. Even a pacifist would get violent if someone were trying to kill him or her. You would fight for your life, whatever your beliefs." End quote. In all the sense, he's right. No matter as much as anyone would want to say they wouldn't kill somebody if they were attacking them, you never can say never until you're put in that sort of situation yourself. And so let me ask you my final question. Are you willing to take away your only line of defense for saving yourself or for saving your loved one?